Well, universe, having just uttered to my dog, you knew when I talked it was going to come out. I figure I must be dead centered, bullseye on the nuggets of wisdom I look to impart, distribute, recklessly throw about into the wind to see where they'll land. Perhaps just splatter out the other end of the straw like that kid in an 8th grade birthday party who acts like an 8-year-old. I have something about 8th grade and 8-year-olds, but I'm sure it only has to do with me. Or at least I like to go back in time and think of the number 8, because I seem to end up there all the time. But rather than giving this one over to the stoner gods of yore, well, let's say that's probably already too late. But again, here we are on, it's 11:51 a.m. It is the Thursday, April 14th, which means tomorrow is tax day. I know tax day, I only made like $340 last year. Pretty sure that means I don't have to file for taxes. But I also think that means that if I do file for taxes, I'll just get back the $65 or whatever they withheld. So I probably should find my W-2, I think it is. Whatever, the little form I got from the grocery stores in the neighborhood that let me work for them for 2.5 weeks. Well, if I go find that form, does that mean that I'll get $75 in my bank account? Because when you only have $104 in your bank account, which is where I think I am right now, $75 is worth finding. And considering I lost $70 way back when, $75 given up when I could readily have had it in my bank account is just the stupidity of not money I can afford to lose. Now, did I afford to stop recording? Apparently not. Alright, I'll stop touching the phone. No, I won't, because I have to hit the pause button. Here comes some noise that I don't mean to make. Okay. So, I thought I would check in on the stupidity of my life, like having $104 in the bank. But that's not even stupid. That's just normal. What is stupid is how, well, yesterday I certainly didn't feel all that well, so catching up on a day of what might have been technically slightly under the weather, day of health today. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. I will say, being on the Home Depot timeline is a good one, especially in the summertime, because you're kind of up with the sun. And I'm sure that's the way we're supposed to act. And so being on that rhythm is something that when forced into it, and I have to get forced into it, I always recognize the value of seeing sunrises. And so having seen a few in the last month, and having seen a few here in the last week without having necessarily had to, well, it reminds me of being on that schedule and the value it brings. Sort of like every time I have to deal with another phone, and having cracked the screen on my Samsung Galaxy S4, I'm now down to my last Samsung Galaxy S4. Somewhere I have a Samsung Galaxy S3 that I cannot find, or I loaned to somebody and forgot about, but the point is, I am down to this phone only, and for whatever reason, this phone can't upload videos to YouTube. And my other Samsung Galaxy S4 had trouble with this, but I used to be able to delete the program, reinstall it, upload 8, 9, 10 videos, somewhere in that range, and it was always different, which is weird. Before it caught on that it needed me to update the program, and my operating system was too old, so I would have to just clear out the entire program, delete cache, delete any trace of it, reinstall it, and do another 8, 9, or 10 until it freaked out and made me do that all over again. Well, this phone's not falling for that trick. Damn it. So, I haven't been able to upload anything to YouTube. And all I upload are slideshow versions of these conversations. But I'm stuck there. So, having created all the videos and having no way to upload them, I mean, maybe I can sign on my computer and upload them. I don't know. I hate giving YouTube any more information about my devices than I have to. Right, Google? Right, NSA? Samsung Galaxy S4 NSA, that's what I use. If you want the model number and all that information, well, I'm not going to make it that easy on you because I think that makes it easy on other people who might listen in for fun. So if you're one of those people who likes to mess with things for fun, well, I kind of relate to that. I can't say I've always had the cleanest of intentions. I have felt at times in life that just describing myself as the court jester was probably the most favorable interpretation of the circumstances around me that I could give myself. I was certainly not the king, queen, or part of the royal court. I knew that much. And going through life, more or less defining what you're not. Well, you'd think it'd give you that epiphany sooner or later that maybe what you're defining yourself by are the wrong terms. I mean, if all you ever see are, well, I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm not happy achieving this, having gotten here doesn't feel all that great, having done this that everyone said was, oh, so monumental a milestone in my minuscule little Minneapolis, Minnesota? How much meaningless alliteration do I need to... meaningless alliteration. Now that could be the story of my next album. Alright. The truth is that you can chase that which you're told will become fulfilling, and then find it unfulfilling, and come to one of two conclusions. That the process itself was effed up, and what they told you was a bigger lie than you knew, or that you're the problem, because this works for everybody else. Why didn't it work for you? I mean, no, we don't have any chocolate milk. Oh, well, we have that chocolate milk. Okay. That should keep the burps away. Having to check in with the COVID-19 reality is a strange occurrence. It's such an administrative blanket of bureaucratic nonsense, I'm afraid, because there has been no consistency, no clarity, no transparency, no responsiveness to this quote-unquote calamity that has made sense. And I do not appreciate that, nor do I expect that anybody else who thought at least our leaders must have emergency action plans of some value, given how much money and think group time and energy has been spent on these sort of fantastical imaginations in the first place. You don't come up with, we need a new Pearl Harbor level of insider analysis without having crossed the bridge. Well, what are we going to do if the virus gets out? I mean, shit, Hollywood even figured this one out, right? There were blueprints you could have gone to in the movies that were better than the responses we came up with. And having to navigate that little bureaucratic snafu, it's irritating. It's what rubs my soul the wrong way. Knowing that I'm participating in some level of escapade to which I'm not just a dupe, I'm a number. This is how certain people will react in these scenarios. We'll corral them into this group, and we'll know that this is about the expectation of how many of them there will be. Whatever that descriptor is, I'm part of that group. The people who refuse to play the game until you threaten my work, and now I have to play this level of game, fine. Take my DNA. What do you want with it? I think you've already had it from arresting me before. I'm sure at some point you took my DNA to put in some catalog of what? Of ultimate galactic accountability for the great deluge that's going to inevitably wipe us all out. What do you want to know? What do you want to know my DNA for? Trying to find something? Trying to find somebody? Trying to identify some pattern? Trying to back engineer some solution to some problem that you haven't admitted to yet? What are you up to? I wonder if I'm up to still pausing. It says 10:44, so probably not. Dog's pausing our way through another day. Sleep and being right on and okay. Just like every other day after day. That dog is such a joy to play. I've never had a rough day when my dog's around to say, hey, it's all okay. All right, that is a poem for first graders. And that's about where my poetry level always was. I dated a few poets, so I recognize good poetry. I just do not create it. Oh, certainly got to pause for the blow of the nose. And again, what if I have COVID, right? Like, what if the state tells me I'm one of the sick? I got 14 days of quarantining and eating oatmeal and what? Is there a diet you got to do? I don't know. What would change? Like, I feel fine. I feel like I feel every other day. I can't have COVID, or else that would mean that I was going to get better. I mean, yeah, if I were to work out, do a little running, maybe some aerobic exercise, little weight training, some jump rope, even just some basic yoga. I mean, okay, I can see a whole lot of recovery plans that would get me into a more firm, fit, and I'm sure functional form of physical life. My job is starting to force that upon me now, as are the bike rides to and fro. So I do understand that I could get into better shape, of course. But that doesn't make me unhealthy. That just makes me lethargic. And I'm not even that lethargic. Like, yeah, I could get in better shape, but I will happily run the Olympics of just about to turn 53-year-olds anywhere in the country right now, as long as it doesn't involve water, because, to be honest, I've always been a little afraid of water, so I don't swim worth a shit. And so, anything on land, though, bikes, skateboards, rollerblades, whatever, silly as that would be, I'll do it, even uphill. It will not be fun, but I feel like I'm in, at least for a 53-year-old, decent enough shape to keep up my end of the bargain. So, regardless of how much better shape I could be in, I also know I'm not 20, nor will I ever be again, so to think that I'm going to run marathons is just not worth my time. In the physical endurance, pushing myself limits against reality test that those moments are. Being able to run to work and back, well, things like that might be worth knowing how to do, especially if my bike's going to break down. So there are some physical limits that I might still have to adhere. But until then, I will consider this the COVID hiccup of inconvenience that means I'll probably have to pick up some work days like Sunday and Monday so that I continue to make enough money to buy cat food, cat litter, and dog bones. All right. What did I want to talk about other than stupidity? Things that are going on in my life. So, I have a plan to walk into the public sphere with a table and a sign that says, available for kindness, forgiveness, and understanding. Literally, one of those like little placards. Even just, like a clearance sign at a J.C. Penney store. Penny spelled the right way, not the Mandela way. So, if you're at that table with, an offering of, maybe miniature little orange crushes? I don't know. Something sanitary so that people don't feel like you're trying to give them germies. But something that is enticing enough to offer somebody a reason to sit down and break their routine. Maybe just 6 bottles of water and 6 bottles of random soda. Have one if you're interested. Let's just converse about how you think you can either offer the world kindness, understanding, or forgiveness, or could use a little from the world kindness, understanding, or forgiveness. Which side of the coin did you flip in on? And then seeing what of that becomes. Because after watching some of the social snap moments this country has endured, and not just recently, but go pick your moment of embarrassment from the last 15, 20, 25, 30 years. Pick one a year. You'll have a tough time picking just one. We're a country constantly at the slightest tilt, ready to go. Because we've been set up that way. We've been set up to think, well, yeah, that's what I think, because that's not what they think. And they're wrong. We got enemies, we got opponents, we got A's, we got B's. Well, we don't ever C's, D's, E's, and F's. Well, yeah, we got those in school, but when it comes to that level of nuance, well, we get rid of that as soon as we turn 18. Everything's an A or a B. A blue or a red, a black or a white, a green or a purple, a yellow or a what? Yellow or yellow? How about yellow versus that mustard yellow? That's very, very much of a duality to me. Bright yellow, mustard brown. Oh, okay. Not my favorite color combination, but you get the point. We don't even have this sort of nuance that comes across the spectrum that is yellow. There's that golden yellow. Then there's that really bright, silly yellow that is in every Crayola box that you can't even see when you write on a white piece of paper. And then there is that deli mustard yellow. And then there's that bright orangey yellow. There's that dull gray yellow. There are all kinds of shades of color, and not paying heed to the nuanced variance within the human existence that is there to be had, well, that's always been rather annoying to me, because it seems like what else we got to talk about that's more interesting than that? Because we didn't come down here to manifest as a group and be told to all think this way. Hey, buddy, have you been told how to think on that yet? Because this is how we all think on that. We do? I didn't know that. I didn't even know I thought that. I mean, I'm glad you told me I think that way, because I actually was thinking differently. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I know. I'm glad. No, I think this way now. I do. Yeah, well, that's fucking stupid. But I admitted I'd be one of those people who would convert to what the group think is. Even if I said I believe that I'm right in my head, I would say, well, hell yeah. Now, how far could you take me on that? I don't know. I am not willing to expose myself at that level right now, today, this morning, with this much THC in my system. Because would I allow you to hang that man because he's a black man? Fuck no. Hang me first. Don't make me witness that fucking tragedy. What are you wrong with you people? But is that line longer than that one? 7 of you saying, well, line A is clearly longer to me, when it's obviously line B that's longer? Well, that isn't relevant enough for me to say anything other than, alright, you nut jobs, I'm the crazy one because I still say it's line B, so put me in the closet, quit having this conversation, because I think you're all wrong. But I get that you all think that, so I must be wrong. That's the best I can say. I would stand up to that situation. And notice I can't even save the black man's life. I don't have the gusto to convince the group that what they're thinking is fucking insane. Nope, I just want you to kill me first. Don't make me witness the insanity of the group. And I don't have the fucking cojones to grab the shotgun and put it into my mouth and pull the trigger and say enough insanity. Nope. I need you to kill me first. So those are the burdens that I'm late to work for. Why are those the things that I don't have enough of the soul, spirit, and life force to move forward and say, no, we are going to be different. We're not going to accept plausible deniability, nor are we going to stand by when we see systemic favoritism working in anybody's corner. We are going to erode those damaging concepts until we're back down to a level playing field where all of our individual experiences, the voices we all bring to the table, the questions we all have, the collective knowledge base we're all building, the sort of confidence we have in each other, that what we're here to do is the purposeful realization, the manifestation of who we are in a planet of 3D reality, space, and linear time. Until that is something even my dog can't sleep through. Well, now you know what I'm late to work for. I'll bet you're late to work for that too. Well, I mean, I don't even know you, so that was rude.